All right, well, welcome back, everybody. Today's the great day because you're going to learn how to play Lonely is the Night by Billy Squier, just like you heard it on the record. This is such a great rock tune. It's just all about Les Paul in a Marshall tone and just tearing it loose. And we're going to go through the rhythm guitar parts and the lead parts, and I'm going to also highlight what I think is a fully underappreciated part of the guitar work in this song, and that's the rhythm guitar that's happening during the guitar solo. I don't know that I've seen anybody that I think has it right. So this is my offering to the YouTube guitar tutorial pool of Lonely is the Night videos, but yeah, stay tuned. So if you're new here and you haven't done so, and you like this kind of thing, jump down and click subscribe and ring the bell, because the bell will let you know when I drop new content, which I do every single week. All my videos have chapters in them, so you can jump right to the part of the lesson that you want to see and bypass what you don't. And if you're looking for other ways to support the channel, I appreciate that. There's thanks, which is just like throwing a tip in the tip jar, button below. Or you can join my Patreon page where I do guitar tabs and chord charts for all the songs like this that I do on YouTube. And there's other exclusive things for you, for my Patreon members. So all the links are in the description. Check it out. Okay, so this is a great piece of guitar work that I love since I was a kid. And yeah, he had a great couple records in the early 80s, and Don't Say No, which is what this is on. Man, that's one of those where, like, it's almost completely front to back great, every song on that record, in my opinion. So, all right, so this song is in standard tuning. It's in E. And in terms of tone, if you have a Les Paul, grab your Les Paul. Put it on your bridge pickup. And we're just going to be playing with our volume knob a little bit. I'm running into my 50-watt Marshall plexi reissue. And very little else. All the gear I'm going to be using here in my signal chain is down in the description below. But basically, you want to dial up, not like full gain. It's not like you're turning everything on 10, but you want to be able to get a super strong rock tone when you get to the lead. And I've got my, settings so that when I'm on the rhythm guitar stuff and everything else other than the lead, it's pretty much sounding like that. I've got a little bit of very tiny amount of slapback going on just to sound more like a live room, which I think at least one of the guitars is doing in there. Okay, so let's get to this. So the opening of this song, awesome, right? So I'll just run through the riff. Okay, great. Just all played around the little E chord there. So over my shoulder, you'll see, I'll just run through it slowly and you'll see how this goes. Love that. I don't know how much else there is to say about that, other than that's how you play it. Okay, and then the rhythm guitars are coming in when he's singing Lonely is the Night. It's going to be an E bar chord up here, and all you're going to do is have your E chord position here, and you're going to pick up and put down your ring finger. Down to an A. And you're going to hit on that D to A, like a Keith Richards kind of thing. Right? And that strum pattern. Not much to it, but right? All right, and then slight variation when the whole band comes in. And I think there's two guitars going on here, but they're doing very similar things. But the slight variation now when the whole band comes in, it's it just holds on that. Right. And then it just runs through that pattern during the first part of the verse. Then it goes to a part B on the verse, which is going to oscillate between a B chord and an A chord. Play down here in first position, as far as I can tell. And you have a couple open strings that you're going to leave. You're going to leave those B and the E string, the first and second string, open on both of these. So your B is to your A, B, to your E. Now, let's talk about the E chord. We're going to learn later on that there's a power E chord that happens like that. You could play that chord here. I think he might actually play a normal E chord here. And just, I think he might be muting that third string. And the reason I think it's that chord is because he follows it with, or that little E sus. Right, so those parts together. Right, there's that. Then it goes to a D. And then a C, I think that's a C plus 2. D to a G. And we're going to close that off with a sus. It's either that or you're just doing the sus on the second string. Either way is going to sound fine. You either do the second and fourth string or just the second string. Either way it's going to sound okay, right? Or, right, either one there. Then it goes back around. Right, so it's back to that sort of formation based on that. So those are those two sort of formations. The other thing that's happening with one of the guitars, when you get to that G, at some point one of those guitars is doing that G sus up here. So that's your D-shaped G up on your 7th and 8th fret. So it's a great way to complement the guitar that's down here. Like that. So, all right. So that's that part. Then we get to the guitar solo section, or there's a little bit of a pre-solo section here. And this is what I think is my unique offering to the YouTube universe of Lonely as the Night videos, because I don't see anybody else doing this. And I think this is right. But first, there's that little breakdown where it's just the drums, and then you hear a guitar do a rake backwards of an E power chord, and that's this one that we talked about a minute ago. This is the part where he's saying, "Somebody's watching you, baby. Tell me what you can do." Right, it's that part. But it's pretty clearly that phrased E chord. So, all right, so let's get to the rhythm guitar that's happening under the solo, and then we'll learn the solo part, right? Now, after that part, you're going to stay all down here. It's all going to be E based, and you're going to do some hammer-ons between parts of the E chord and the A chord. Okay? And it's going to sound like this. So let's talk about what's happening there. So you have a big, before you go into it. So the chord shape is that power chord E, and you're holding your pinky on that 4th fret, 3rd string, and you're hammering on your 5th and your 4th string, and then you're going to hammer on your 3rd and your 4th and your 3rd string, and it's sort of the rhythm that you want to look for. And it does it one way. He does it 4 times. On time 1, 2, and 4, it's one way in terms of timing. And the 3rd time, he does it slightly different. So it runs like this. Here's the beat. The 3rd time is a little different. So it's a little subtle difference, but he's sort of rushing it or pushing it on the 1st, 2nd, and 4th, and he holds back on the 3rd one. I think that's kind of cool. Now here's a live video from them playing this in 82 or 83 or whatever, and I'm gonna slow this image down a little bit. This is when he peels off and goes into the guitar solo. Billy is the one that's playing the rhythm, at least live. I don't know who did the solo in the studio, if it was him or his guitar player. But you can see, as I'm slowing it down here, look where his hand position is. It's in that sort of shape, right, of that E bar chord. And you can see him holding it throughout the whole riff, the E to A riff. He's all down there. There's nowhere else. He's not sliding up anywhere. It's all happening right there. And, just because he played it live that way, did he have to play it that way in the studio? No, but, come on. 95% of the time, they're going to play how they played it, right? And so, anyway, so that's why I think this is all happening down there, 1st position. There's nothing crazy going on. It's all right there, which falls in line, in my opinion, with just a great rip and rock song, right? Just power chords all over the place. Okay, so given that's the nice bed that he's laying for the guitar solo. And the guitar solo is another just epic piece of work. I'm not changing anything on my tone settings. I'm just going to roll my volume up just to get a little more out of it, right? Okay, but let me just run through it, and then we'll break it apart. Okay, run it up. Okay, great phrasing, so it's starting off with that big, blues bend, minor pentatonic blues bend, but you're getting that good vibrato, and everything about this song is like, so like nothing's rushed in this part of the song at all. Just gives a lot of space between the notes. Peel it down, and do one of these pull-offs down here on E, your E note on the 2nd fret, pulling off on the D string. Then we're going to come up to this E minor pentatonic position. Do a little 1.5 step bend there. And then this part, this confounded me because I always think it's or something like that. And I don't think it is. I don't think there's a single bend that's happening there at all. I think he slides into it and he's just playing back and forth between the 12th fret B string and a couple different things on the first string. That's all that's happening there. So that big bend, I end it like that. But it might make more sense to end it up here because we're going to be going up here. But, you know, I learned it my way. So either that or your next part here is finger right here on the 15th fret B string. Love that. Slide up here to whatever fret that is, 20. Bend up. How Jimmy Page is that, right? That's like, you shook me. Did a video on that one too. You can see that here. But that's all very similar to that. It's just greatness. Okay, so getting back to that spot. You know, again, not too fast. He's not doing that. It's just not in a hurry, and it's so powerful to me anyway. And pull it down. So that is it. Tabs for all of that's on my Patreon if you want to check that out. But let me see if I can run through that slow one time. Dope. Yeah, that's all that is. Then you're back to your B to your A. And all that around. The only other part that's different is the, you know, the very end. Love that. That's just a major. You're playing with the E major chord there. And it goes into double time. Or sounds better to me up there like that. But that's it. That is Lonely as the Night by Billy Squier. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something new. And if you did learn something new, and you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button and ring the bell. The bell will let you know when I'm dropping new content, which I do every week. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this one, and if there's another song you want me to take on and do a similar lesson, let me know that too. Okay, until next week, take care everybody.